There are more than 8 billion human beings living on the planet right now, all of whom have the same general characteristics: arms, legs, eyes, ears, muscles, brains. At least half of this 8,142,000,000 people are women and girls. That is 50% having the same general human characteristics: arms, legs, eyes, ears, muscles, brains. Now, the 8+ billion of us have divided ourselves into 195 groups that we call countries, all of which have some form of government administration. That is, people who were elected or selected, or who selected themselves to lead the country, to run the affairs of the collective. The role of government is understood to be to run the affairs of the collective in such a way as to occasion the greatest good to the greatest number of people all the time. To this end, the government makes laws and policies, protects and defends the collective, keeping people safe basically, and has an obligation to create the environment in which the members of the collective have opportunities to live well and be successful in all the ways that we know, socially, economically, intellectually, in our homes, our workplaces, our schools. So of course, if the government is doing its job right, it will be listening to the voices, needs, desires, ambitions, challenges, concerns, fears of the collective, of all the different groups in the collective, and fully including all of this information in its decision and policy making. Furthermore, if the government is serious about being a good government that really and truly serves the people, it will make a point of going to whatever lengths necessary to gather this information, to hear these voices and to include them and the people with these voices and these stories and these challenges and desires and needs and fears in its decision making and its policy making and its actions. That is inclusion. That's what inclusion is. To actively include the people in the running of the country at all levels, as diverse and as differently talented and able as we are everywhere. Smart governments understand that anything less is untenable. History also shows us that. The French Revolution that we probably all know about shows us this. That's just one example. Let them eat cake didn't go down so well at the time. It does not go down well now either. Now consider also this. Of these 195 countries, only 29 have a woman as head of government and or head of state. That is roughly 15%, 15%. Women make up 50% of the population, remember? 50. Women whose needs are to be included make up 50% of the population, but only 15% of the leadership. Why is that? Why might that be? There are only 6 countries of the 195 where women hold at least 50% of the seats in government or parliament. And there are at least 3 where there is no female representation whatsoever. Based on this current rate, researchers figure that it'll take another 39 years to achieve gender parity in national parliaments. National parliaments, about 27% of women in the world. About 27% of seats in the parliaments of the world are held by women. It'll take another 39 years for this to even out, get to 50%. The time needed to achieve gender equality in the highest positions of power, that is the head of government, head of leader of the country, is projected to be 130 years, more than a century and a quarter. Who has time for that? So now consider this also. The Geneva Academy of International Humanitarian Law says that there are currently more than 110 armed conflicts going on in the world right now. Some of them started recently, while others have been going on for more than 50 years. The United Nations says that there are more than 170 armed conflicts, wars, civil wars, international wars. Consider also that in Afghanistan, women and girls are forbidden to attend school, period, beyond the 6th grade. They are banned from universities and most jobs, even the jobs of running beauty salons. Women are banned from public parks, gyms, sports clubs, and of course, from government. In some places, women are not even allowed to stand at the windows. In the United States, women are 28 times more likely to die by firearm homicide, that is, to get shot and killed, than women in other developed countries. Every month, and on average, more than 70 women are shot and killed by an intimate partner in the United States, up from 57% reported by the Center for American Progress in 2022. In the United States, the government is rewriting the laws and repealing a large number of legislation that guaranteed women our fundamental human rights. In the United Kingdom, violence against women has been declared a national emergency. In the United Kingdom. In the Congo, sexual violence against women is used as a weapon of war, and children are routinely abducted and sold to work as slaves in the cobalt mines. That's just a small amount. A small representation of what's going on in our world today. Now consider all of this and ask yourself, which of the two groups of humans makes the rules in these countries? Which group starts the wars? Who perpetuates the conflicts? Is it at all obvious that the concerns, ambitions, needs, desires of women are respected, included, considered in the policy making, the leadership decisions, and the priorities of the leadership of these countries? Would anything change? Would anything change at all if more women were involved in leadership and women's contributions and concerns, not to mention needs, given respectful consideration? Consider this.